All right. Shalom, shalom, Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me coming again on this Deborah platform with another message. And I will say this is a lovely Friday Sabbath in which the Most High, Ahaya has made. And you know what? I, Sister Deborah, shall and I will rest therein. I'm coming with a message regarding preaching any other gospel. I want you all to really understand what preaching and gospel and the kingdom means in spirit and in truth. So, if I can get you to prepare your pencils, piece of paper, and your Bible, I want you to work with me on this. I want you to work with me. Hello in the live chat. It's good to see you. I want you to work with me on this one here. And I'm going to kind of, how would I say it, tease you a little bit on this one. Because I'm thinking about just completing it, all the verses in the chapters, and then ask you some questions. So kind of teasing you. But in it all, I will speak on some of the verses, some of the chapters, just to kind of give you a little bit of a insight of what I've come to know. And I will say to you, it's a life changing, a spiritual life changing topic because we've been taught so much by so many voices in the land. It's time for us to start really hearing the voice of that the one that's in us, in our inner man, which is the Ruach HaKodesh, the true and only teacher. And once we grip him, we can sit within any circle, any page, any church, anywhere in the world. Because now we've learned to be taught by the one that's so great in us than he that's in the world. And he teaches you how to divide that thing. He teaches you even when there's something smeared. He said, you see that? Do you see that? Now go here. You see that? You see that? Now look, watch this here. I'm going to smear it up. I'm going to clear it up. Because it's some things that has been smeared. And there's many things that the Catholics, the Romans, Catholics have switched and smeared. But how you don't have no issue with that? Because it ain't going to move not one of his law in the spirit. Not one. See, that's one thing they can do. They can smear the words in this book. Oh, yes, they can. And they have. They can smear the things that you hear and you follow behind. They can make right, wrong, wrong, right. But when you are taught by the Ruach, the Father in heaven's spirit that was promised to give you and teach you, it promised to give you a comforter. It promised to not tell you, but to be your teacher. And to teach you not some things, all things. And once you get that relationship with him, guess what? He'll teach you some things outside of what is spirit and truth. That's how wonderful and great and excellent of a teacher he is. Now, in this message is preaching another gospel I'm going to, as a prophetess in the wilderness, I'm going to bring something back that has been taken out. Okay? And I mean taken out of the heart, the mind, the mouth, the ears of many. And I'm going to give it back to whom it belonged to. Because many things have been taken out. And you're going to see that. Hello in the live chat. It's good to see you. And we're going to start with Paul again in Galatians chapter 1. That's where we're going to start. Galatians in chapter 1. The reason why we're going here is because Paul made the statement to them in Galatians about if someone else come and preach any other gospel, you have to understand what he's talking about. I'm going to give you the truth of the whole matter. 99 point trillion don't understand what Paul is saying. Now I know it. It sounds simple and easy. It sounds like it's something that, say, a third grader can comprehend what Paul is saying. But really, no one. As narrow as the gate that leads to life would be as narrow as the ear that hear and the eyes that see what Paul is saying. That's just how narrow it is. So let's go there to Galatians. And what Sister Deborah is going to do is try to bring something back that has been snatched out of everything that the Father has orchestrated to be in the midst. And it ain't like he don't know that it's been snatched, because he's not worried about that. He's not worried about it. Just like Yeshua said, all that I have is what my Father has given me. If I don't have it, then I don't need it. I hear you, Yeshua. That makes a lot of sense. So we're going to go to Galatians, and we're going to start with chapter 1. And we're going to start with verse 8. And this is Paul speaking to this is in Galatians. Okay, speaking to the church of Galatians. Okay? Yeah, is that Paul? Yeah, that's Paul. Okay? And he's saying in verse 8, but though we or any angel from heaven preach any other gospel unto you than that which we preached unto you, let him be accursed. Verse 9, as we have said before, so say I now again. If any man preach any other gospel unto you than that ye have received, let him be accursed. Let's go on to verse 10. For do I now persuade men or God or Yah? Or do I seek to please men? For if I yet please men, I shall not be the servant of Hamashiach. Okay? Verse 11. But I certify you, brethren, that the gospel which was preached of me is not of man. Praise the mighty Yah. Paul is trying to tell y'all something there. There's a lot of power in there, y'all. A whole lot. A lot of power. Paul is trying to tell you. Now, where the understanding of the people today is they're speaking of this book. They talking about this book. They think this book is the gospel. They talking about the book, y'all. And this is why you got on all four corners of the world. You have in one block, might have 3 churches. You got churches on every corner, everywhere you turn. Okay? And Paul is saying, watch what he's saying here. But I certify you, brethren, that the gospel which was preached of me is not after man. Okay? Now listen to verse 12. For I neither received it of man, neither was I taught it, but by the revelation of Yeshua HaMashiach. Paul is saying a whole lot of things right there. So what gospel is Paul talking about that was preached? He didn't receive it from no man. See what I'm talking about, y'all? They want to preach this thing. They want to teach this thing. You see what I'm saying? They want to give you this word out of this book without the power. And Paul is saying, hold up. If anybody come to you preaching any other gospel outside of the gospel in which you heard, they are accursed. Why? Why are you saying that, Paul? As if you're the one that has it all. Yes, you do. I know you do, but they don't, Paul. They don't know what you have. You know what Paul is saying? It's what Sister Deborah been telling you all on this Deborah platform for the last 4.5 years. This thing is spirit and truth. And Paul is trying to say, this gospel, he said, I don't care if another angel from heaven preach any other gospel unto you than that which we have preached unto you, let him be accursed. So Paul knows that this here gospel in which has been preached is not natural. We have throughout time believed what we heard, and we believed. But that was in our flesh. You see, that belief that we have in our flesh won't get us to eternal heaven in the New Jerusalem. It's the brand belief that the Father has branded in thee that will cause you to have your one-way ticket to the New Jerusalem. See, what they did is, there were more, and let me show you how thick it is. There were, let's say, 1 billion willing to teach out of this book. Stay with me, stay with me. There are 1 billion of people that's willing to teach out of this book. Precept upon precept, line upon line, little here and a little there. That's for those who have no faith, who have no righteousness, who have no law, light, who have not spirit and truth. Because those that knows that this thing ain't no walk in the park. You can't just pick up this book and have it. You can't just pick this book up and precept it from the one end to the other end. You can't line this thing. You can't master Torah. You can't master Genesis all the way to Revelation. and get this thing that Paul talking about. What is this gospel with Paul talking about? What is this gospel? Matter of fact, Paul, what is preaching? What is preaching you're talking about? I ain't talking about these pastors, these apostles, these prophets, these prophetess, these Moorings, these seers, these watchmen, and all of these teachers that's teaching. No, Paul ain't talking about that. Paul talking about the preaching, okay? Proclamation, meaning the matter of great importance, information. That's the preaching Paul talking about. The whole matter of the great importance of information. That's the preaching he's talking about. That means what Sister Deborah say. The whole matter is what? Spirit and truth. So Paul, and I'm on one accord with Paul. Somebody come to you not teaching spirit and truth, kick him to the curb. I'm saying the same thing Paul's saying. Paul said somebody come to you preaching another gospel. Why? Because people don't know what the gospel is. Paul said somebody coming up on you, buckling up on you, trying to preach, which is giving you the matter of great information, the greatest information regarding what? Regarding what? The power that were rest in the kingdom. That's what he's talking about, child. He said, don't take to it, child. Any other gospel outside of that, don't take to it. So when you hear me, you hear Sister Deborah saying spirit and truth and the light, that's the gospel Paul is talking about. That's what Paul is talking about. You see? So when you hear, I hear, the reason why I had to bring this forth, because many quote this verse and they don't even know what Paul talking about. Paul ain't talking about the words in this book. Listen to what Paul say in verse 8. Galatians chapter 1 and verse 8. But though we or any angel from heaven, see how he's sealing it? Paul all up in heaven. Wait a minute, Paul, where you going? Wait a minute now, you mean to tell me nobody can come from heaven? An angel can't come from heaven and switch this gospel? Paul said, no, Deborah, you know they can't. And I know they can't. I'm just messing with you all. But Paul is saying in verse 8, Galatians chapter 1 and verse 8, though we, meaning disciples, the apostles, or an angel from heaven, preach any other gospel unto you than that which we have preached unto you, let him be accursed. Why? Because the gospel in which Paul him preached was spirit and truth. And what's the deal with the spirit and truth? It got all power. That's what the gospel is. See, they thinking you talking about this book. Oh, see, we got to keep the law and we got to keep the Torah. We got to keep what's in this book. No, that ain't what Paul talking about. That's not what, because see what y'all didn't understand. That's how the Catholics, the Roman Catholics got in this book and smeared some things. Oh, I'm so thankful that the Father gave us himself in us to teach us. That's what Paul talking about, y'all. Paul talking about the gospel, that's spiritual. But see, you can't grip what Paul is saying if you cannot walk up in and out spirit and truth. Because only Yah gives you that. And that's what Paul is talking about. See, these people thinking he's talking about what they saying in this book. 99.9 don't even understand what Paul is saying. Matter of fact, they didn't understand what Peter is saying. Because their interpretation of what is being said is outside the spiritual realm. Ooh-wee! How did it get outside? Because they wasn't branded for his name's sake. So therefore, when they teach and they preach, they teach outside of the what? The power. That's what Sister Deborah is saying tonight. I'm bringing that power right back in it. And I know many people ain't going to receive it because the power is something Yah Elsha Yeshua can't even usher that. Yeshua can't usher it. Only the Father. That's his power. And that's what Paul is saying. Somebody come talking something to y'all, and it ain't power. It ain't spirit and truth. Get away. What did he say? Let him be accused. He's telling y'all that. He's telling you the same thing Sister Deborah is saying. Just wanting you to be careful in thinking that you can take heat and you believe every voice in the land because they quoting this book. But Yah's, those that are appointed and anointed and predestined and ordained before the foundation of the world, that's down here. This book can't touch the unseen faith, righteous belief, and fear of the Most High or higher. That's a brand of the Most High or higher. So Paul saying, if someone come teaching you outside the power, tell them to stand down. Let's go there. So Paul is saying something that's very powerful. But did you all know that 99.9 billion don't know that? They don't know it. And we can't blame them for not knowing it. We have to let them know what they know. What did Paul say in 9? As we said before, so say I now again. If any man preach any other gospel, first of all, what is preach? What is Paul talking about preach? Paul is saying the matter of the greatest important information. Okay. And then what did he say? In any other gospel. And what is the gospel? It is the power of my Father unto you, then that ye have received, let him be accused. Paul is telling us that. And not only did he say it once, he said it twice. And he began to say in verse 10, for do I not persuade what? For do I now persuade men or Yah? Or do I seek to please men? For if I yet please men, I shall not be the servant of Hamashiach, the power. Peter is saying to us, we're missing something, Deborah. They're missing something. And even sometimes in what he's saying is kind of also helping me out to say, you need to stand away from people who don't know nothing about the power, Deborah. In many words, that's what he's saying to me. You can't spend your life in the rest of your time on this earth because you're in the last hour. Sister, I know you got to continue running. I know you living in this day and time. I'm gone, but you got to understand. He's talking to me too. What is he saying to Sister Deborah? Anybody that's on that left lane of that lane that you're running, if they're on the left or on the right and they're talking in there, don't pay them no attention. You know this thing is spirit. And it is truth of the whole matter. And that's what preaching is. The whole matter of the greatest information that can ever be told on the face of the earth. And that's what Yeshua HaMashiach was coming, preaching. The gospel of the kingdom. The kingdom is the greatest. The kingdom had the greatest information in the world. And Yeshua HaMashiach, not Yeshua HaMashiach. Yes, Yeshua HaMashiach, the Son of Man, Yeshua, he came preaching the whole matter of the greatest information that can ever be told by the power. That's what he did. So you see how people were mistaken that Paul is talking about this book here. Paul ain't talking about this book. See, if you're not able to step into Paul and Paul into you, you ain't who you think you are. And not just Paul, the others that was branded. When they're talking, you have to be able to step into their conversation and comprehend it, because the same thing in them rests in you. That was just one of the promise to Abraham, how you become like unto Abraham if you got that brand. Or you can either be the other one that getting the land that was promised the land. It ain't saying you're going to live to go into it, but that's two promises. One of eternal through the brand of righteous belief, faith, and fear, or you can be detached to just the land. There's two promises coming from the Most High to Abraham. And even though spiritual one is what Paul even is saying, the gospel in which the Son of Man come preaching of the kingdom was trying to get us to understand, wait a minute, y'all. The greatest information I bring unto thee of the power of our Father. And we turn every way except for the righteous way. That's why that gate is narrow, y'all. That's why the gate is narrow. It's a reason why it's narrow. It's a reason why very few shall find. Because this is exactly what Paul is saying. And 99 billion wouldn't understand what Paul is saying. They think he's talking about what they saying in this book. Because they are addicted to precepting and lying. Oh, it says this, it says this, or it's this. No, you off balance, baby. The information Paul, Peter, and all of them was coming with, let me tell you, it's greater. The gospel is greater than any book. Y'all bent up and y'all bent down. That's why Paul is saying any other gospel outside of the one that we've been trying to tell y'all. Because the one we've been giving y'all is spirit and it is truth. And they can't dip into it. People can't dip into it. Because it has to be given unto one from the heaven and the power of my Father's right hand. So that's what Paul is saying. He's not talking about this book, y'all. He's not talking about precepting and lying and that sort of stuff. That's not what Paul is saying. He's trying to get you to understand. Preaching for us as apostles and prophets of the Most High or higher, preaching is the matter of the greatest information that ever been told in the world. That's the preaching he's talking about. And how is that? Because it's backed up with the gospel, which is the power of the Father. Let's go there. Romans chapter 1 and verse 1. Let's start with Romans chapter 1, verse 1. Let's go there. Romans chapter 1 and verse 1. And it reads, Paul, a servant of Yeshua HaMashiach, called, hallelujah, called to be an apostle, separated until the gospel of Yah. Paul was separated unto the power of Yah, his purpose. He was separated for the gospel. What it says, unto the gospel, which is the power of Yah. Let's go. Let's go to verse 4. Romans chapter 1 and verse 4. First, let me go back. Romans chapter 1 and verse 1. Paul, a servant of Yeshua HaMashiach, called to be an apostle, separated unto the gospel of Yah, which is the power. Watch this here. Verse 4. Let's drop down to 4. And declared to be the son of Yah with power. There we go, that power. You see? So if you think that Paul is talking about what's in this book, or is Paul talking about the power? You see what I'm saying? That's what's missing. That's what Sister Deborah want to bring back to you so you can understand what Paul is saying. Because this here is something many people, a pastor, a bishop, an apostle, of many years in churches and everything, they will come up on you on this. They'll come on you big time. But Paul said anybody coming preaching anything different, because they want to trap you to think that it has to be what they say that is, because that's how they can interpret it. But see, that's where they're missing something. What is it they missing? They missing the power. And if the power ain't branded them with righteous belief, faith, and fear, they are without the power. So they don't know what Paul's saying no way. Because Paul is saying the same thing I keep trying to tell y'all. This thing is spirit and it is true. Now watch what it says in verse 4. Romans chapter 1 and verse 4. And declare to be the son of Yah. Who is the son of Yah? That's Christ. Who is Christ? The power. With the power. You see? See, there's a son of man, which is Yahshua, and there's a son of Yah, which is his power, which is Hamashiach. You see? So here go Paul said, and declared to be the son of Yah with the power. Watch this here. According to the spirit of holiness, by the resurrection from the dead. Now watch this here. Let's go now to verse 16. Romans chapter 1 and verse 16. For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ. Who's saying that? Paul. He's telling you again. Watch what he said. I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ. Power, y'all. I'm not ashamed to cover the fact of the gospel of Christ. That's because it's about all that power. He's coming to give us the power of what heaven has in store for us down on the earth. That's what we're talking about. We're trying to get people out of this flesh thing into the spiritual realm in which it is, was, and going to be. Flesh already assigned to where it's going. Where it's going, y'all. Everybody know that. But where's your spirit going? That's the one that's eternal. So it should Sister Deborah teach you where your flesh is going for the rest of her life and the rest of your life? Or should she teach you about the spirit? With the teaching you about the flesh, how would you gain anything about Yah? You can't. But when you hear about those things which is spirit and truth, there you go. Now you're in there. So this is what Paul is saying. Anybody come teaching you anything outside of spirit and truth, let them be accused. Because this ain't about man. That's what Paul was saying. This ain't about the flesh of man, nor men, men, as he kept saying. And that was in Galatians chapter 1. He's saying that because this thing is beyond flesh and blood. Flesh and blood goes back to the ground. He's trying to wake y'all up. You got to step in the realm that has eternal. And you want the realm that's in an eternal New Jerusalem, not in the lake of fire. So he's saying, we come to give you the matter of all the great information that ever been told on the face of the earth, which we preach to you about the power that is in heaven that has orchestrated it on earth. That's what Paul is talking about. Now listen to this. When you get to Romans chapter 1, and then you get to verse 6, you get to verse 16. For this is Paul, for I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ. I'm not ashamed of the gospel of Christ. Watch what he said. For it is what? The power of Yah. How can that be so hard for y'all to understand that? How could 99 billion not understand that? Paul says that the gospel in which he preached of Christ, because Christ is the power. The gospel is the power. And what did he say? For it is the power of Yah unto salvation. This is what this power is offering to everyone that what? Branded by belief. To the Jews first, and also to the Gentiles. This is what Paul is saying. Now he goes to 17 and he said, for therein is righteousness. There we go again. There go that righteousness. He said in verse 17, therein is righteousness of Yah. Because it's a brand that Yah put in you. And what do he say? Of Yah revealed. How is it revealed? How is that righteousness revealed? From faith to faith. From your faith to my faith. From my faith to your faith. Watch this here. As it is written. Now, what do as it is written? As it is in the heaven, so shall it be like unto on the earth. Why? Because heaven has orchestrated this to be this way. Now, listen to what it says in 17. For therein is the righteousness of Yah, revealed from faith to faith, as it is written. Heaven's written it already up this way. You see? Now watch this here. The just shall live by faith. Justice, righteous, y'all. Justice, righteous, righteous is just. Shall what? Shall live by faith. Those are all the brands. You see what Paul is saying? See, people wouldn't even understand that. That's all spiritual, you guys. That's why he said, I'm not ashamed. This is the power of Yah. Don't y'all understand that? No, they don't understand that. Because they think it's this book. They think he's talking about what they reading in this book. That's not what Paul is saying. Because Paul knew that they wasn't the new sheriff in town. They knew they wasn't the new sheriff. They knew they wasn't a new sheriff. See, they know they wasn't a new sheriff. See? And here today, people haven't turned or loosened themselves from the old. That's why they want to hold on to the law of Torah and the laws back then, and they couldn't keep them then. They ain't gonna be able to keep them now. Only thing that can keep anything, the law, the commandments, and everything else is he that is in thee, that's greater than any law that has hit the earth, because he is the law. He is the commandment. See, his law is in your spirit. Man's law is in his flesh. You see, Yah's commandment is in his spirit. He is the commandment. Now, if he's the commandment and he's in you, then what does that say to you? How you going to be able to control the commandment that's living in you, and he is the commandment? You see, it don't make sense. But see, they can't see past it, and you can't blame them for not seeing past it, because he said, Deborah, they say they see, they cannot see. They say they hear, they cannot hear. Because they have been brainwashed for so long, even since they were little kids, to believe with their pastors, their bishops, their priests. There's billions of people going to a priest to tell them their sin and never going on their knees or going before Yah for repentance. They go to a priest or they go to Mary. Millions of people, y'all. So you see what I'm saying? So Paul is saying, as Sister Deborah been saying, spirit and truth is it. It gives you the light. You remember the oil that were in 5 of the virgins? That's the light. That's the light, y'all. That's the light. They were able to use that light to go in that door once it opened. And then it was closed. That's that light. It's going to show you the way out of darkness. Okay. Now, Paul is saying this the same way he said it in Galatians chapter 1. He's trying to get you to understand this thing is spirit, y'all. And you think I'm ashamed? Hey, how can I be ashamed? I'm walking in the spiritual realm. I'm not ashamed of the gospel. Because that stuff is coming from the heaven, y'all. And what has happened, the Father was explaining to me, the power has been denied for so long that the power does not even, people do not even look toward the power. Even those who have him in them, they don't even look within and speak that power into existence. Because there's so many voices in the land. And everybody is taking heed to the voices that in the land and ain't taking heed to the voice that's within. That holds all things. That's greater than he that is in the world. How could you outbeat that? So I wanted to share that with you all about Paul, because that's not what Paul is saying. People thinking that Paul is saying whatever we saying and whatever you're reading in this book, if anybody come teach you anything different than this book, they are accused. That's not what Paul is saying. Paul said, if anybody come to you and not speak in spirit and truth, that's what he said. They don't get it. And they ain't going to get it. They didn't get Paul then. They ain't going to get Paul now. Don't that make sense? So I want you to go to Matthew 24. Let's see what Matthew 24 is saying. Matthew 24 is saying something. And I'm kind of up on this here, this part right here, because this is kind of scary, y'all. This is a little bit something here. And it ain't scary, but it's something to really think about. While you in this last hour walking in the light, this is something that you need to really think about. Listen to this. In in Matthew 24, in verse 13, I'm going to start with 13. It says, Matthew 24, chapter 24, and verse 13, he that shall endure until the end. The same ones that's going to endure shall be saved. Did you know those who are going to endure are those who have been given the gift to endure? This endurance is not something that the flesh of man can endure. The Father's sitting here giving you Matthew 24, breaking it all down on what all the things that's about to happen. But he said in verse 13, Matthew 24 and 13, but he that shall, he letting you know you're going to endure, baby. Like he told me. He said, I gave you the spirit of endurance. You'll be okay. Don't worry about it. Just go on. Don't worry about it. And ever since he gave that to me, I think of how beautiful that is for a creator. That's my Father, my creator of me, gave me something to continue this race. Because being on this earth and living spirit and truth and walking in the light and being taught from the wilderness, That means you're seeing it from a different level than those who say that I'm a pastor, I'm a bishop, I'm a apostle, I'm a priest, I'm a Maureen, I'm a seer. Wait, who taught you? The book or spirit and truth? The Ruach HaKodesh. Are you a student of the Ruach HaKodesh? Because I've been all my life. You see, I don't go into class trying to control him and tell him A to Z. He loves the idea that I thirst for truth. Always asking the questions that he just delighted to answer. You see? Now here in Matthew 24, it says, but he that shall, I like that. He that shall endure, that's telling you, you're going to endure, Deborah, until the end, shall be saved. Shall automatically, Deborah, be saved. Now, this is the key. Verse 14. And let me tell you about that, Deborah. This gospel. This gospel. What gospel is that? The power of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness. And that witness is evidence. That witness is evidence unto all the nations. And then shall the end come. What do you mean? Go bump it back up, y'all. Verse 14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached. What is preached? The matter of the greatest information in all the world. For a witness. You're going to witness it. You're going to witness it. You're going to witness it. It's going to be evidence unto all the nations. So what is it that you're going to witness? That heavens have given us such great information regarding that power. That's what they're going to see. They're going to see that power. They're going to see him show up and show out like he said. His judgment and all. They're going to see it. And then the end. How you like him now. See, no, now what I just said, it will go over people's head. Because when you're talking spirit and truth, it goes over people's head because they're not in that realm. And when you're not in that realm, you can't digest it. Not even in your flesh. Because it's spirit and it is truth. Now listen to what he said in 14. Matthew 24 and verse 14. And this gospel. What gospel? What do you mean this? Bump back up to 13. Shall endure until the end. And you shall be saved. Now you go tell this gospel. Tell them about this gospel, which is the power of heaven, shall be preached. The greatest information in all the world as a witness, which is evidence unto all the nations. See, that's kind of strange, isn't it? You know why it's strange? Because it's spirit and truth. Because you'll wonder, why is all the nations, listen to this is where the question is at. Why is all the nations, Yeshua HaMashiach ain't coming back down here to teach y'all anything. Y'all ain't about to show you nothing. He said, your tail's going to now see my power. And not only are you going to see my power show up and show out, it's going to be based on the greatest information that ever hit the face of the earth. And you're going to witness it. So you're going to see it. And in the process of seeing it, then the end. What'd he say? Come. So you're going to see something. You're going to witness something. See, I know we walking around here thinking we're going to get out of it and all as long as I'm dead. A lot of people think like that. As long as I'm dead, I don't know what it is. That's what they think. Why? Because no one ever thought to be the light unto people. We were all here and we never done anything. Or we never been about our Father's business. And here we are today, still not about our Father's business. We telling people what they want to hear so that we can get likes and subscribers and praise. And that's what we inherit here on the earth. We ain't got nothing promised to us in the kingdom because we get all our glory right here on the earth. We ain't trying to build up for our rewards in the heavens. We building up our rewards here right on the earth. And praising and receiving praise as if we the God himself. You see that? And that's what's going on. That's why this platform was built. So people can get praise and honor. And they have an idol God. And a lot of people don't even know that. A lot of people idol these people on this devil platform. They never think or feel any anointing. No spirit and truth. They see no light. They just hear words and praise the words. And you know what they praise more than anything? Who in the live chat know? You know what they praise more than anything? That they get to follow where the multitude is leading. Everybody loves to follow the crowd. Everybody wants to follow the multitude. They look at the multitude, and to them, the multitude is righteous. What did the Bible say? What did the instructions and directions say? Matter of fact, I think Yeshua said it in here in red. If I'm not mistaken, narrow is the gate that leads to one place, and that's life eternal. But you think someone wants to go in that way? No, they don't. Why you say that, Sister Deborah? You shouldn't say that. Yes, I should. You know why? Because he said, Deborah, very few shall find therein. See, a lot of times people will look at you and say, well, you shouldn't say things like that, or you shouldn't talk about these men. Wait a minute. Hold up, baby. That tells me you ain't read this book. Because everything in it is talking about men. So what are you talking about? Where you been? That shows you. These people are not about spirit and truth. They are not about the light of the Most High. And I had to address that because I've heard so many men talk about Paul is telling people, if you teach any other gospel, baby, you don't even know what the gospel is. Because if you knew, you would know. Paul said it, and here it is in Romans. He says it again. And what people are finding, Paul in verse 16, I'm not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, which is Hamashiach, for it is the power of Yah. See, that also shows you Yah's right hand is the power. You don't see Yeshua. You don't see Paul saying, I am not ashamed of the gospel of what? Yeshua Hamashiach. Or Yeshua. You know why he's saying Yeshua? Because it ain't Yeshua's gospel. It is my Father's in the heavens gospel. That's why Yeshua came down, saying the heavens, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. You know what he was talking about? And he came preaching. A lot of them have got people thinking that's the good news. Let me tell you something, baby. This preaching that came down from the heaven, guess what it was? It's greater than the good news. It is the matter of the greatest information that ever hit this earth. And we calling it good news. Anything can be good news, baby. It don't stand, these voices in this land don't stand a chance. The gospel is a power. It comes with the power of Yah. What did Yeshua say? The kingdom of heaven is at hand. The kingdom of heavens is at hand. Don't you hear that hand? Don't you hear that hand? That's that right hand of the Father. That's Hamashiach, the Father's right hand. They told Yeshua, sit here on my right hand until I make that earth your footstool. How he's going to do that? With that right hand. His power. See, they don't know about that. They don't know nothing about that. See, so when Paul is saying teach another, he's not saying this book. He's talking about spirit and truth. Someone come teaching you, and I say to you all in this live, someone come teaching you, and they ain't teaching you spirit and truth. That's what Paul said. They are held accused. That means get away from them. He said he ain't even gained his from man and following man and hearing man. So where you get it from then? See, Paul telling you. What he has, he ain't heard it. It wasn't preached to him by man. It wasn't given to him by man. He's telling you, y'all, this thing ain't about flesh and blood. This thing is spirit. They don't hear it. They don't hear it. Because when I heard these people, these pastors and these men teaching this thing, I said, they got it all bent. They got it bent up and they got it bent down. They got it all messed up. Just like they did with Job and many others. They got it all messed up because what happens? What's the problem, y'all? What's the problem that they can't see spirit and truth? It's because the power has not been given unto them. They have not been given the brand that represents Ahaya. They have not been given spirit and truth, nor light. So when he comes, they can find their way at the door to go in. They don't have that. They have flesh wisdom, flesh knowledge, flesh understanding, flesh interpretation, and they are entitled to that. And we are entitled to lead them to be entitled to what they entitled. Why? Back in the biblical days, when Yeshua walked, he gave them pearls. How you like him now? How you like him now? See, that's what I say. A lot of you all don't understand. You think you understand this word. You don't. Because if you did, you'll see the difference between the apostles and the multitude. What did he tell? Peter and them came up to Yeshua and asked him, what's this thing you saying to the multitude? You saying something to them one way and you giving us something different. What is going on? We confused. Stand down. Stand down. I give them parables. Because I give them parables because seeing, they ain't gonna never see. Not never, but he said they ain't gonna see. Hearing, they ain't gonna hear. But you're branded for his name's sake. I give you the word. And what is that word he talking about? That proceed out of the mouth of Yah. I give you the word. I give them parables. Same thing Sister Deborah sitting here telling y'all right now. Paul is not giving, it's not speaking in parables. He's giving you the word to those who are walking in spirit and truth. And he's telling the multitude, he's telling the Gentiles, if you come any other way, after you've been given it, and someone else come along and teach you something, he even said, if an angel come heaven, come and teach you something different than what I done taught you, or what I didn't spoke to you, then they are a curse because they are not giving you what I've given you, spirit and truth. And that's what Sister Deborah says all the time she's been on here. They won't go over in that area. When I first started, I used to say the keys. I say, why is it they won't open the door? I had an issue, y'all. It was my problem. It wasn't their problem. It was my problem. I was running back and forth to Yah. And I had plenty of subscribers and likes, but I had them all over. I had them from UN, UK, everywhere. Canada. I had them all over. And I had an issue. I had a serious issue, y'all. I had a real serious issue. I had to boot out probably 4 times. Cancel all my likes, cancel all my subscribers. Bam. 6 months later, I started over. You know what? That just tell you, I'm not caught up from the floor up in subscribers and likes. That stuff don't mean nothing to me. None of it can enter into the kingdom. And if it don't worship and serve my Father, it ain't nothing but kick rocks. You see? It has no place in front of me. Like he said, on any other side, nor even in back of me is a place for it. And let me tell you my issue. I'm serious. I had a serious, straight up issue. I get on this here YouTube, and I was trying to understand. Wait a minute. Pull out your keys. Come on now, you guys. And it was always the men. Pull your darn keys out. I can sit up and listen to them for hours, waiting for them to pull the keys out. That's how I was messed up. Not them. It wasn't them. It was me. I'm waiting for these men. And this is how, when you wonder why Sister Deborah talk about the men, it's because the ruach that teaches me in the wilderness had to break it in and out of me so that I can understand what was going on. But I just thank him for the experience. I'm looking at these men. I'm sure why I was, see, Sister Deborah was looking at these men on YouTube like unto the apostles that walk with Yeshua. That's how I was looking at them. And I was like, brother, come on, open the door. Where's your keys? Get your keys out your pocket. I'm on here. That's what I used to do. Get your keys out your pocket. Come on, open the door. Wait a minute. Open the door. I showed you how gone. I'm telling you, Sister Deborah ain't got no sense. And I don't care. I was gone. But when that Ruach was teaching me in the wilderness, he said, hold up. What you doing? I said, Father, what's the problem? What's the problem on this Deborah platform? He said, Deborah, well, what is it? I said, Father, they be talking and they'll be on here for 2 or 3 hours, Father, but they won't open the door. Boy, I was hot, y'all. I was so hot. And that's what made me get off. I couldn't understand that. Until the Father taught me in the wilderness. He said, Deborah, what is it? I said, Father, I get on here and I listen to them, and they won't even open up the door. Father, they won't even pull the keys out their pocket. He said, Deborah, the keys is not given to them. I got to say, what? He said, they don't have the keys. The keys is only given to those in whom I have issued them unto. He said, just because you got the keys don't mean they have it. I said, but wait a minute, Father God. You mean to tell me these people be on this devil platform teaching, reading out of their Bibles, and don't have no keys? He said, they don't have them, Deborah. I didn't give it to them. They're not who you think they are. See how Sister Deborah is? All my life, even just a young girl, I give people the benefit of the doubt. The Father had to teach me in the wilderness. They don't have no keys, Deborah. You can't expect them to open up no door. Because see, you know the keys he has given Peter? He has given those to the apostles. Okay? I'm thinking, wait a minute. They get on here. They can be on for 15 minutes. I can shoot straight through their message. That's how I used to be in the church. And I had a couple of strangers, not heathens, not Gentiles, but my people, and brought them into my house. I was known to do that. And when I take them to church, they thought that I had something going on with the pastors because they couldn't understand. I tell them what the pastor's going to preach about and how he going to sum it up. And they was trying to figure out, well, wait a minute, no. Something wrong here. You didn't call them people. You didn't talk. How could you do that? How are you able to do that? So while I'm on this devil platform, I'm following these men. I got my book. You guys, I got my pencil and my piece of paper. I'm listening to it. Look, y'all, I'm here. Oh, yeah, he got a good topic. I'm waiting. I'm sitting on this devil platform waiting for them to pull up. Come on now. You too far behind. Pull it up. Pull it up. And I'm talking just like I'm saying to y'all, waiting for a whole year and a half. Fussing with the people on YouTube. Why? They don't hear me. I'm sitting here saying, put the darn key in the door. Open the door. Pull your keys out. I was waiting for them to bring the revelation, spirit and truth to their message. Couldn't get it. Couldn't get it. I didn't know why they didn't have it. See, I thought that since I had it, I figured everybody had it. That's how not like everybody, but I just assume y'all on here, y'all can kick the women to the curb saying they can't speak. And if you're going to be the speaker, come on with it. If you're going to put them to the curb and put them on your feet, you better bring some fire, bro. You mean you're going to get on here and spend 2-3 hours and you ain't got no fire? You mean you're going to be on here 2 or 3 hours and you ain't got no key? Hey, I was hot. Till the father told me, he said, Deborah, he had to break it down to me more than once. Because the first time he told me, I was still on it, waiting. Come on, brother. Come on, bring the keys. Open the door up. Open the door. Because I was waiting for them to bring spirit and truth, y'all, and I wasn't getting it. So I shut my page down. I sure did. End up, got rid of all my everything. I didn't speak. I didn't do anything. I said, this is crazy. This is crazy. They're going to be on this devil platform and talking about my Yahuwah. And ain't now one of them got the keys? What? That's what Paul is talking about. That's what Paul is talking about in Galatians chapter 1. Anybody preaching another gospel? He's talking about the gospel outside of spirit and truth. Hallelujah. So that's why I say to you all, I know exactly what Paul was saying. You see? Because I was in that situation. But listen, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I really did not know they didn't have the keys. When I got on YouTube, I had no idea. And I was like, what you mean a woman can't speak? Now, me and Sister Deborah personally, I always believe that a man should lead the church. A woman shouldn't even be assistant pastor. I never believe of a woman being a pastor nor assistant pastor. Never. Even when I was young. I don't like that. I never cared for that. I felt that wasn't the order that I would be up under. You see what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, these men are on here. Ooh, I got my book. I'm ready, y'all. Ooh, yeah, I'm waiting. Y'all, let me tell you, these men never had the keys. That's why, Sister Deborah, when you hear her talking about these men, that's why. That's the reason why I'm doing that. Because I can do that. I'm called. I'm appointed. I'm anointed for that. You see? To the house of Israel and the tribe of Judah. And I'm appointed and anointed. You see? So I'm like sitting here saying, wait a minute. And when the father was telling me in the wilderness, Deborah, I didn't get him no keys. So why you want them to open the door? They can't open up no door without the keys that I must give them. I said, but Father, how is it he don't know? He don't know this. He don't know that. He don't know this. Father, how I gonna teach? See how gone I was? It still is. Because I'm trying to figure out how y'all got y'all kids on this devil platform teaching with no keys. That's what he had given Peter. And remember when he saw Peter and he had to break the curse off of Peter. That's the reason why he told him to feed my lamb. Do you love me? Feed my lamb. Do you love me? Feed my sheep. Do you love me? Feed my sheep. Those 3 times he had to bring the curse of the denier off of Peter. But Peter was given the keys. Why was Peter given the keys? Anybody in the live chat? No. Why was Peter given the keys to the kingdom? Anybody know why Peter was given the keys? Anybody know why Peter was given the keys? Peter was given the keys because when Yeshua said to the disciples, who do they say that I am? Elijah, John the Baptist, the prophet. He said, okay, but who do they say I am? I am is the Father. And Peter came up and said, the Son of Yah. Because the Son of Man was the one they said was the prophet, John, Elijah. But the Son of Yah, Peter was able to answer. The Father had given it to Peter. I am the Son of Yah. That's Father's right hand. So Peter had it right. Oh no, it's time. Yeshua said, no, it's time to give you the keys. I'm telling you all, that's spirit and truth. 99 billion don't know that. That's why they couldn't open the doors. And let me tell you what I was able to do, you all. I was able to discern different men that was on the platform teaching, and they were gay. I was also able to discern those that were, and it was only a couple of them, but they had led the multitude, a great number, that was practicing witchcraft. I'm sitting on this devil platform just looking and listening, trying to figure out where they getting this mess from. What are they talking about? I tell you what, y'all better pull out them door and keys and open up the door. That's why they never could open up the door, because it's not in them. Even to today, it's not in them, and it's not going to be in them. That's why that gate is narrow, and only a few shall find the way. And the only one going to find the way, because they're going to have the light that will lead them through the darkness. And that light leading them through the darkness is because in them is spirit and truth. These people don't have that. So that's what Paul was saying. And the 99 billion wouldn't even get what Paul was saying. He ain't talking about this book, y'all. See, when I first came in today, I said, you know what, Father? I'm going to have to teach this thing in righteousness. Because, Father, these people are missing the power. That's where the problem is at, y'all. I'm going to be honest with you. People are missing the power. They have added so much chaos and so much division. And then they take everything that's smeared and smear things up, shake it up and come up with what they want to say with no spirit and truth to lead them. And now one of them claims to even be a student of the Ruach HaKodesh. They just said, I got the Ruach HaKodesh. How do you got something? What is it you got? He's a teacher. He's a revealer. He's a comforter. So what are you dealing with? And he coming in the word that proceed out of the mouth of himself. So what are you teaching with? See, they don't have that. And they proclaim that they do. And they are leading the multitude. Yeah, Peter, who the son of the living Yah. That's what he said. Because that is the Father's right hand. That's Hamashiach, Christ, as the word calls him. See, people thinking Yeshua. Yeshua is the Son of Man. Okay? Christ is the Son of Yah, which is Hamashiach. That's the right hand that came down with Peter in word and in power. That's why it says Yah with us. Why? Because it came down with Yah word and Yah power. And this is what we're going through right today in the year 2023. People are void of the power. And that's why they don't understand Paul. You will never, ever, ever in your life understand Paul, because you're void. You are void. Spirit and truth. You don't have it. You don't have what it takes. Because that spirit and truth, you know what it's got wrapped up in it? A brand. Those 4 brands, followed by righteous, belief, faith, and fear. It can go in any ways. That's how the Gentiles and a heathen was grafted in, through faith and belief that were branded in them for a highest namesake. And it tells you that, but they don't see that because too much hate, y'all. Hate also keeps them from understanding spirit and truth and getting the fullness of righteousness or what is right, what is just, because hate is ever present. Why? Because it's against the spirit realm. Hate loves the flesh, but it hates the spirit. It's in love with the flesh, and it hates the spirit. So I say unto you, I have many more. Let's go to Psalms 40. That's something I didn't go through. Psalms 40. Let me see if I can cover that. Psalms 40. Let's see what's going on here. David, let's Psalms chapter 40, verse 8. Let's see what it said. I got it wrote down here, and I'm trying to see what did I have it attached to. Psalms chapter 40, verse 8, 9, 10, and 11. And here we go. Psalms chapter 40, verse 8. I delight to do thy, wait a minute, let me see. Yeah. I delight to do thy will, O my Ahijah. Yea, thy law is within my heart. You know what law he's talking about? Spiritual law. See, what they didn't know is the same law they trying to lock people in, like those that was locking the Gentiles in being circumcised, or you have to follow Torah. That law don't got nothing on the law of Yah. Now listen to what it says in verse 8. I delight to do the will of Ahijah. Yea, thy law is within my heart. That's that spiritual heart, child. Watch this here. I have preached mean the matter of great information that ever hit the face of the earth. That's what preach and preaching is. So when you hear people's preaching on these pulpits, it's supposed to be, and they got their Bible, right? And they call themselves worshiping the Father, right? Guess what it's supposed to do when they preach it? They're supposed to be preaching the greatest information that ever hit the face of the earth. Ooh, that's deep. That's what preaching is. The matter of the greatest information that ever hit the face of the earth. Okay, now watch this here. And I have preached righteousness. All right. In the great congregation, lo, I have not refrained my lips, O Yah, thy knoweth. Verse 10. I have not hid thy righteousness within my heart. I haven't hid it. He's saying that they know that righteousness is in me because I ain't hid it. It's in me. I ain't hiding that righteousness is in me. I'm not hiding it. Watch this here. I have declared faithfulness. Hallelujah. And thy salvation. Now, there you see in verse 9, you see righteous in the midst. You see in verse 10, you see righteous and who else? The friend, his friend, righteous friend, faith. Okay. And thy salvation. I have not concealed thy loving kindness. Now, watch this here. And thy truth from the great congregation. He has not hidden Ahijah's truth from the great congregation. And what else? One more, 11. Withhold not thy tender mercy from me, O Yah. Let thy loving kindness and thy truth continue preserving me. As he was talking here, David in Psalms, you notice even he knows that righteousness and faith and truth holds a place in y'all, in him. And you won't hear nobody teach it. See, because what they're doing is they're teaching without the power. Because the power hasn't given them the calling. The power hasn't called them with the holy calling. It has not told them that they are called, appointed, and anointed with the holy calling. They have anointed and appointed themselves so that they can deceive as many as possible to believe their interpretation of the flesh. They don't have it in the spirit, so they got to teach it to you out of the flesh. That's why they want to run around precepting a little here and a little there. And just because you precepting out of a book, instruction and direction book, that still don't mean it's the word of Yah. First of all, many voices is in this book. But Yeshua said every word that comes out of the mouth of Yah, that means spirit and truth. Out of the mouth, not out of the book. That's a big difference. You can't take this book and say every word in here out of the mouth of Yah. But when you hear it says, and Yah said, and Yah said, and Yeshua said, then you can. But you can't take everything everybody's saying and make it legit because they said it. You can't do that. That's why he said you got to rightly divide this word, Deborah, because they don't want to divide it and separate what is spirit and truth from what is flesh and blood. And that's the battle you see today. Anybody have any questions? We got a few more minutes. Anybody have any questions? Right, the seed of the flesh. Exactly. Very good. Exactly. But you would never. They would think that they are the seed, but they look at it as, oh, I'm the seed of Abraham. Yes, you're the seed of Abraham in the flesh, and that's what they don't understand. And while you in that flesh, you ain't got nothing promised to you but the land. But the Father said, hold up, there's another promise to Abraham. That's the promise in the spirit. Do you have that? No, because only one can give you that is me, said the Most High. Only one can give you that is him. I can't get that just in any store you want to walk in. No, you can't. Any devil platform you want to come on, you can't just get it. Yep, that's true. Your comments are being blocked. Who doing that? Yep, they said your comments are being blocked. Who is this here? They seem to be ones out of order. What's going on? Is there something else going on in the live chat that I don't know about? Is a conversation going on in the live chat that I don't know about? I hear somebody saying, have my comments been blocked? And they seem to be out of order. What's going on? Is it something I'm missing? See, when I'm speaking, I'm not really focusing real hard until I'm real down low enough to see what's going on. Yes, question answer. Yes, question answering. Oh, okay. All righty. But yes, if anybody else have any questions before we get out of here. Oh no, they ain't gonna do that. They ain't gonna do it, but it's not spirit and truth. I also heard someone else say that what they did is they tried to bring that into uh, the new, and the new didn't even do it. That lifestyle of multi wives, and they said that they didn't even do it then. So you don't hear it in the New Testament. So it's going back to letting you know that that was during that time, and it was only a time period. So what they're doing is trying to bring that time period into today and said, oh, they did it then, so it's okay with me now. Ask the question if read, what's that? More up some. Oh, you driving? Be careful, baby. Yes. What question do you have? Bring it on. Yep, we got a few more minutes. You be careful out there driving. Don't let Sister Deborah's squeaky voice, loud squeaky voice, interfere with you driving home. Oh, you just got home. Okay. Good. I see someone say they have a question, but they haven't asked the question. Shalom. But you said, yes, I do. I got the loud, squeaky voices. Talk so fast. No one has questions? I guess not, huh? I'm going to tell y'all something. That was a pretty good message, I think. What do I do? Speak or be quiet around those Hebrew Israelite men if Yah has revealed truth to me? If Ahia has said something to you, when he looks down at you from the heavens, and even he looks high and low and high, he don't see male nor female. How you like him now? See, that's what they don't understand. See, he said in Romans chapter 1, they want to treat him like he's a man. You see, but he is the creator of all things. Spirit and truth is going to override any male and any female. So if you have spirit and truth, and you speak in spirit and truth, whether it's in the ear or in the face of a man, or if it's in the ear and in the face of a woman, it don't matter. Spirit and truth gonna be the light. It's gonna uphold all things. See, that what I'm saying is, people got to understand, the Father didn't have Yeshua say many a times, nor the Jew nor Greek, nor male nor female, in everything, because what man did is this: they orchestrated everything. They orchestrated everything to be able to separate something that threatens them. And I'm like, wait a minute. I've been on this devil platform and I heard their messages, and they ain't had no keys. So they can't say nothing to Sister Deborah. You got home good. They can't say nothing. That somebody else is trying to put stuff away before. Okay. You got to pick up somebody else. I know that routine. Ooh. So therefore, if you got spirit and truth, no matter who they are, because it's for the spirit of that individual, and it is true. That's what it says. Obey Yah. And you can see where, yeah, if y'all can't see why the world is bent, and it's because of who been what? Leading. And they never gave that a thought. And when he said, what did he also say? Try the spirit by the spirit. Was he telling you only try the woman's spirit or the female spirit? Or is he saying he's trying to get you to understand this thing is a spirit thing? This ain't no male nor female. You got spirit and truth, you speak that thing. That's right. He sees us as spirits. Exactly. And what's the sense of saying, try the spirit by the spirit if you're only supposed to try the spirit by the spirit of females? That's crap. Yep. If we all have the Ruach and operating in it, so how is one Ruach higher than the other? You see what I'm saying? How is one Ruach is a female and the other one is a male? It don't make sense, y'all. That's right. That's it. If he said to speak up, speak up. That is so true. Question. He used who he want. I like that. I like that. You telling him, you showing him up. I like that. He uses who he wants. I know man tell us, no, you got to get behind me until I tell you when to speak. You know what he'll do? He'll put you in a situation where you wasn't even ready to see if you just gonna go on and speak spirit and truth. It ain't. And he said, don't even be worried about what to say. Ain't that's what he said? So what did he tell? Who is he talking to? Males or female? He said, I will be your mouthpiece. Don't worry about what to say. So who's gonna control that? Man. Oh, yes, most definitely. Yep, that's true. That is so true. They do. They really do. Who receives? Baby. Because he showed me with a dog and a drunken man at the same day. Praise the Most High. Hiya. That's right. Because what if he come to you in the midnight hour and he put a word in you? Why somebody else got to control that? And he gave it to you. What's for you is for you. In a lot of cases when he dealing with us. So why is everybody else got to dictate our relationship with the Father? Ain't that big? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He'll put you in many situations, male nor female. He'll put you in situation. The book of Judges. That's right. And you see what's his name? Paul was sitting here. He catching hell because he's speaking spirit and truth. And then here these Negroes today say, when Paul, his words is too hard to understand. Yeah, I guess it is. Didn't I tell y'all that? I told y'all when I got on here, I couldn't understand why ain't these people having keys. Where's your key at? You ain't unlocking spirit and truth. You ain't unlocking the word of God that proceed out of his mouth. You ain't talking nothing but a bunch of crap. And they never could open the door. And I just thank the Father. I just thank him for showing me that, Deborah, they can't open the keys, baby. I ain't gave it to her. And I just was assuming, since they own this devil platform, y'all, there is neither Jew nor, that's what he said. I just assumed that he was they on this devil platform saying a higher the Father, the Almighty, and all that. And y'all ain't got no fire. You ain't got no keys to open up the door. Get your tail somewhere and sit down. Yeah, because what did he say? What did he say? He said the harvest is ripe, but the labors are few. No, you can't get no. See, that's another thing I'm gonna tell y'all. A lot of y'all have not done, because when you start to speak spirit and truth, everything stands down. I don't know if y'all know that or not. That's what Sister Deborah was telling y'all. Everything stands down because they don't know how to deal with spirit and truth. That's why they don't come to this page. That's why they understand Paul's writings. That man said, I fought a good fight. I finished my course. These people didn't get up out of here the way that they left out of here because they want to play patty cake with these ignorant men today, nor these ignorant women today. Higher got his orchestrated from the heaven. I'm so glad he have branded his. Oh, y'all don't even understand the blessing of him branding his own for his name's sake. So therefore, you don't even have to deal with those that ain't branded. You'll know them. That's what he was saying. You'll know them by their fruit. And he ain't talking about their natural fruit, because they got a church and a million members, driving a fine car, dressed up, calling themselves pastors, apostles, traveling all over the world, baptizing. They don't give you nothing. Taking them people down the dry devil and coming up a wet one. They ain't even been baptized by the fire. That's right. Presenting him. You are so right. And I mean, giving him all of it, everything. Don't claim no power. You got it. It's you give it back to where it belongs. Since you ain't got sense enough to know what it is. You see that? Revealed to Mary first. But you know what I found out, y'all? And I'm going to have to cover that. I thought was pretty. Not pretty, but beautiful. Is when he took Genesis and he said the seed of the woman. Woman don't have no seed. All the one that was born with the seed of righteous faith, fear, and belief. But guess what he said? They was all, if you see Matthew chapter 1, you'll see them all listed. But guess what? The Father revealed something to us females. We just too stupid to embrace it. We just too stupid to embrace it. See, the Messiah, the Son of Man, came down to share the blood of a woman. And the Father said, for that reason, Deborah, she birthed that seed. Hallelujah. He said, Deborah, that seed wasn't born of a man. Meaning he didn't have a seed of a sperm. I gave him the seed of a woman. Praise the mighty Yah. See, this thing is spiritual. And none of the women today will grasp that power and understand that. When you can take what took place with Mary, if you could just take what took place with Mary, you can come to a whole different revelation outside of what these men are talking about. I mean, hold up. How you gonna tell a woman to shut up in the power of the Father is talking to her? Telling woman that which is in you. Oh! He didn't go to Joseph because he wasn't born of the seed of Joseph. But he came to Mary because Ahiah gave Mary the only seed that a woman could have, the Messiah. Y'all missed it, didn't you? Ooh. How the men like it now. Ahiah says, I didn't trust the sperm of a man, but I trust the seed of a woman to bring forth the Messiah that come to the earth to save the whole world from their sin. I didn't trust the sperm of a man, Deborah. I didn't want him tainted by that man. I needed the woman for the first time to only bring forth that seed. And she brought forth the greatest thing that ever been on the face of the earth. You guys, wake up, people, wake up. Wake up. You said you awakened? Ahiah used a woman and gave her a seed to bring forth the Messiah through what? Her bloodline. Oh, he had a spiritual bloodline, but he had Mary's too. See, that's what they don't know. See, that's what they don't understand. That's what they will not accept and believe. And this here backed them up and shut them down. He didn't come out of the loins of a man. Yeah, he came down the same blood, spiritual line as David, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, all the way down to Joseph. So that's for sure. But Ahiah trusted a woman to carry that seed that he gave her of a Messiah and bring him forth and do what? Raise him and take care of him. Bring him to her breasts. Don't tell me what a woman is and what a woman ain't. When the Creator trusted her with the seed of the Messiah, born of a woman called the Son of Man. See, what they didn't understand is this. The Son of Man was born of the flesh. So in order for him to be born of the flesh, she had to have a seed of the flesh. Father didn't trust Joseph's seed. So he made sure a woman has a seed. And that seed was the Messiah. Oh, they ain't going to teach that. Oh, they ain't going to go there. They better not. They can't go there. See, because this is what he said. Let me see it here. Let me look up here. Let me see if I can get this here in Revelation chapter 10. In Revelation chapter 10, if I'm not mistaken, let me see if I can get there. Revelation chapter 10, verse 7. But in the days of the voice of the seventh angel, when he shall begin to sound, the mystery of Yah should be finished. Y'all's mystery is finished. I try to tell y'all that. Nobody believes it. When I'm running around here telling y'all it's over, y'all, it's finished. He says finished. Y'all don't get it. And you ain't gonna get it. And I don't care. As long as my father says it's over, it's over. It don't matter what nobody get anymore. Now watch what he said. He said the mystery of Yah. Let me get this clear up here. This thing, I can't believe it. And it's not moving. It's a thing popped up on my. He says in Revelation chapter 10, verse 7, but in the days of the voice of the seventh angel, when he shall begin to sound, the mystery of Yah should be finished. I try to tell y'all. Watch this here. As he has declared to his servants already, the prophets. The mystery has been given to not just the prophet of yesterday, but the prophets of today. They carry the mysteries. Oh, nobody don't want to read that. They close it up, Deborah. See, they don't get it. See, they don't get that. He didn't give it to the watchman. He didn't give it to the Marine. He didn't give it to the apostle. He didn't give it to the evangelist. He gave it to the prophets. The mystery. They can come and tell you things you need to know in this day and time. But what they do, everybody up under the pastor. And he was the last one on the total pole when he called the gifts. How did the one at the bottom stand high in the world today? Out of order. The whole earth is out of order. Because they took, he said, I gave you apostles, prophets, evangelists, teachers, and pastors. How did the pastor come from the bottom part of the pole all the way up to the top in this country? See, give you something to think about. It gives you something, and that's what's going on. All these people taking position, ruling people and controlling people and leading people, and they out of order. Been out of order. That's why he said the whole earth is out of order, off course. But it ain't stopping his will. And that's what I like. His will gonna continue. It's gonna say, it's gonna fulfill. It's gonna be fulfilled. But he says it's out of order, y'all. A godly seed. I know that's right. To your spirit. There you go. That's it. Yep. Take heed to your spirit and let none dear teacheress against the wife of your youth. Now listen to that. You see what I'm saying? It don't make no sense. It don't make sense how they have orchestrated their own denomination, their own religion, their own personal opinion, their own way. But then they got to, y'all. They got to. Why? Because they're in the flesh. So I guess that's about right. Yep, I guess that's about right. Yep, and that's sad, but it is what he said it is. That's just like, I wish y'all would have saw me then when I first got on here. I was a nervous wreck trying to figure out what these people are talking about. Open the door. I wanted them, when you know how you read something and they've been on here and they read it, we up in the hour and I'm waiting for them to come to the, you know how you bring it to the highest level of what the word is saying. They never got up there. Never did. And I told this one guy, I said, yeah, you practicing witchcraft. You bringing demonic stuff into this here. Malachi, don't let him do that. Don't let Yaki bring you to that level. Next thing I know, Yaki gone, traveling all over the world, trying to be a Dr. Saber, whatever his name, and left Malachi hanging. And I said, see, Malachi was a good teacher. He came a little bit close, but they still just didn't have the keys. And y'all don't think that that's, to me, I think that's kind of scary and sad that all these people that's teaching, all these pastors and these priests and these bishops, these apostles, they have made the word of Yah none effect. That's why it was important to have the Ruach that will be greater in us and work from the inside out, not allowing us to be worked on from the outside. So he come to abide in us because they think they got us, but they don't understand. Greater is he that is in us than he that is in the world where they're at. Yeah, you know what? It's these men, because round about now, things are going. It's happening. I ain't gonna say it's going to happen. Things are happening, and a lot of people are bypassing a lot of things that's going on because this man and his wife, they were on there. And you know what? Something I'm trying to understand. This is what I was telling my ex-husband. How is it that the Gentiles and the heathens get on YouTube and they open their mouth about all the things that's going on and they don't get censored? They don't get put off. This one doctor, which I one time, about 2 years ago, I told him, you're an agent. You always on here talking about this, but you're an agent and you think nobody don't know it. And I always felt that he was. I don't know if he over in Switzerland. He's somewhere, but he don't even, he's an old white man. Y'all probably heard him. And he was talking yesterday. I looked at it and he was talking. I don't never look at the fullness. I don't look at nobody's full tape because unless I can feel the spirit and truth in them. Because you just get bombarded in your flesh with all that worldly information because they ain't got no light, they ain't got no spirit and truth, so they ain't teaching nothing. But this man, he was talking about you know what he said, child? He said that the V that people was getting is destroying their brain by great numbers. So when you see them people suddenly dying, he was saying it's destroying their hearts, kidneys, and their brain. But you know what? I'm gonna tell y'all something. Even Bill Gates, they got on here telling the people that within 2 years, it's gonna really identify what it is. They already knew that. They knew it. 2 years, give or take, before this year is out. They had a lot of people pass away within yesterday and today in their sleep. You see, I'm serious, y'all. And they are fully aware of it. Now, what this man is saying yesterday is him and his wife, they said that, and the reason why I know they're telling the truth is it's just so hard to embrace it. And when it's like that, I know they're telling the truth. That it's going to be signed over for them to run and rule everything. That makes a lot of sense. Everybody know that this president, he can't even walk up the steps, right? He can't hold nothing. Mike, he can't speak without forgetting what to say. They know he gone. But he's going to sign his rights over as and I think they say it's going to be an executive order that he's putting a group of people, and you know who that is, don't you? It's the elites, and Bill Gates is with them too, and they're going to conduct vaccines. They're going to conduct lockdowns. They're going to conduct military force. He's putting them in charge. It makes sense, y'all. It makes so much sense. But I don't care what they call themselves doing. All I know is I'm not a part of that. That's one thing I can truly say I feel. Whatever they gonna do, I'm not a part of it. And I'm not gonna be added in it. Yeah, we ain't even seen the worst part yet. this one sister was talking about. She called herself a prophet. I was thrown back, and I didn't listen to her either. But I heard her words at the beginning, and she was talking about Obama. Obama is coming back in the third term. Now that makes more sense to me too. Want me to tell you why? I think he has something to do with the beast and the false prophet. I think he's the beast. That's what I think. I think he's in there. He's in there. He's somewhere up in there. He's somewhere up in there. I don't care what nobody say. I'm gonna be honest with you. Before he even became president, I'll never forget. I was in Atlanta, Georgia. I was working at this dry cleaner slash laundromat. A lot of customers, and my thing is cutting out. I can't believe I didn't know my thing was like that. I didn't know I didn't have no energy. Oh my God. My baby boy said, Mama, you need to come and get my card and buy you a new laptop. I want you to get you. I said, nope. I got some issues. I don't care. Just because they give you a credit line at an electronic place don't mean I'm supposed to take my stupid tail up there and run it up. And that was my baby boy. I told him, nope. But why? Because I said so. That's why. I'm not going to do it. But I think Obama is in there, y'all. I think that's who's going to pull up. And when I was in Atlanta, I had some big VIPs, business, men in business and that so on, stuff like that. They were so hurt. Oh, they said, well, Miss Brown, why would you say that? You think I said, y'all, he was breeded. They breed him to step into this position. They did this purposely. And they said, but no, you're saying that because he's black. I mean, them guys, I heard they feeling so bad, y'all. I didn't mean to. But I just told them what it was. And time after time, when time went on and time, you got a couple of them saying, I'm about to believe you now. You see what I'm saying? I'm serious, y'all. See, one thing that we are lacking as a people of the tribe of Judah, we take no heed to the anointed, appointed ones that Ahiah have sent to give us the right now word. We don't, nothing y'all say about all the prophets, they take heed to. They didn't then because they killed them. They don't now. And that's the thing. What did it say in Revelation chapter 10? The mystery is given to the prophets. They are my servants. You think they care? Mm-mm. Nobody cares. Nobody give a rat's behind. They just assume that, okay, we just go on around. We're just going to go on. Whatever. He's my pastor. He's my apostle. He's my bishop. Wait a minute. Hold up. They're supposed to be up under. See, let me tell y'all something that you do know. If you, say, for instance, join a church. If you're going in that church and you learn that the church has the 4 or 5 ministries in it, you'd be so happy. You'd be so happy. Because now the order in which Ahiah has called is found in this building. And when Ahiah's order is called in the building, nobody's over nobody but his order. And who's the head? Christ, which is Hamashiach. But what they don't want, these pastors, they don't want no prophet. They don't want no prophetess. They don't want no apostle. They don't even want no bishop. They don't want nothing because they want to run it. They want to run it through their flesh way. And that's where the people run after them. See, and it's out of order, you guys. Why is it out of order? Because y'all said you should be in there. Y'all said I put gifts in you that makes up the body of Hamashiach. We are all members in that body. But if there's no members in there, then how can we make up the body in which he said he has given us? Because nobody wants no one overseeing them. And they don't see that this is Hamashiach Christ is the power and the head that runs us all. They don't see it like that. They want to be the head. Oh no, I'm a pastor. No, I'm a bishop. I'm a Maureen. I'm a seer. Who called you with the holy calling? Nobody gave. He hasn't given even Sister Deborah a calling only for her. I'm supposed to fit in to the 5-4 ministry. And guess what's else in that? In the body of Hamashiach, you got singers. You got people who got the gift to heal. You got people who got the gift to a prayer. And that prayer warriors, you see, you got people who got the gift to go into the hospitals, into the prisons, prison ministry, hospital ministry, orphanage ministry, working with the widows. Those are gifts from heaven to work with these things in which he said need be in him. That's why none of that has worked. So you tell me the earth is not out of order? Come on now. What about all them things he said we supposed to be doing? Why ain't we doing it? Because we are not built up in the body with the respect that Hamashiach is the head. And we're all working in the body together. Because the pastors today, they don't want nobody. You ain't telling me I want to rule. I want to get paid. I want to run the bank account. I want to get the offerings. Wait, hold up, bro. You shut down because you got evangelists that comes before you. You got prophets coming before you. You got apostles coming before you. You got bishops coming before you. How did you come from the bottom pole and run in the congregation with all the members? Because the world and the people that's in these churches and in these synagogues and in these forums and all this other stuff is out of order. That's why they don't want the whole what the Father called it, the 5-4 ministry. That's why they don't want it. They don't care if they ain't got nobody there to heal. They don't care if they ain't got a prison ministry. You can be there and be a prayer warrior. That means you'll pray anybody that's dying, you'll pray them to live. See, you're supposed to have prayer warriors that can come in and pray till the deliverance come. That's the power of God. You're supposed to have those who go out into the orphanage and take the children that don't have mothers and fathers to different activities. You're supposed to have people who's going out and feeding the hungry and the homeless. Those are those in the body. But when you get a pastor that said, forget that, I'm going to remove Hamashiach as the head, and I'm putting mine on top of the body. I'll rule this. I'll run this. And that's what you see in the world today. Because what happens is when you have that prophet, it'll tell that pastor, no, you can't do that here. That is not the will of the Father. We ain't going to have that. You see? Then that apostle be running around, going to different places, starting other churches for the body of Hamashiach. Oh no, Geno Jennings. Oh, he want to go all over the world. He wouldn't get his shots so he can go all over the world. Man don't even know. He's subject to drop dead anytime. Because you trust in a shot to deliver you in a place that you said Yah's calling you to. So how's that shot going to get you there? You see? Fake belief. Flesh belief. That's not spiritual belief. That's flesh belief. Or if I get this shot, get all 4 of my shots, and I'm going to stand in the pulpit and get my whole congregation to get shots, and they all going in line to get their shots. Because I want to get it so I can travel. Baby, Sister Deborah's out. So I appreciate each and every last one of you all. And I say, you all have a rest. You got, it's 9 here, Central Time, your evening. And I will be back. And I appreciate you. And I also like to say to those who have donated, I really appreciate you. I thank you. And the Father knows my heart and really where I stand as far as being so appreciative to those who have. I appreciate you. And the Father knows all things. So I say unto you, I will be back. And Sister Deborah say, Shalom and shalom.